Good morning. The June 19th, 2019 meeting of the Board of Estimates is now called to order. In the interest of promoting the order and efficiency of these hearings, persons who are disrupted to the hearing will be asked to leave. Meetings of the Board of Estimates are open to the public for the duration of the meeting. The hearing room must be vacated at the conclusion of the meeting. Failure to comply may result in a charge of trespassing. Madam Deputy Comptroller, are there any corrections, additions, or deferrals on the agenda?
Good morning. For today's agenda, the board did not receive any protests. There is a correction for page 40, and that's submitted by the Department of Recreation and Parks. Next to that first header, it has donation agreement and performance bond. Before the word bond, please insert and payment. So that would then read donation agreement and performance and payment bonds. Similarly, for the action requested for the same item on page 40, for line number 6, the first word is bond. After that, please insert and payment bond. And so that will now read, the board is further requested to approve and authorize execution of the performance bond and payment bond with the contractor, period. We have one item that is being deferred, and that is pages 88 to 89, number 24. That is being deferred for 1 week. One item is being moved to the non-routine agenda, and that is page 47, and that is the the metered water and fire rate for Baltimore County. I have the following abstentions to report. For the Honorable Mayor Young, he will abstain on pages 63 to 70. For the Honorable President Scott, there are no abstentions. For the Honorable Comptroller Pratt, there are no abstentions. And again, the one item being deferred is pages 88 to 89, number 24 for 1 week. And on the non-routine agenda is page 47. Mr. President and members of the board, those are the corrections as well as the abstentions that have been reported and the deferral and the item on the non-routine agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. I would direct the board members' attention to the memorandum from my office dated June 17th, 2019, identifying matters to be considered as routine agenda items together with any corrections and additions that have been noted by the Deputy Comptroller. I will entertain a motion to approve all the items contained on the routine agenda.
I move approval of the routine agenda items, Mr. President.
I second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The motion carries. The routine agenda items have been adopted. The first item on the non-routine agenda can be found on page 47, Department of Public Works, meter, water, and fire rates for Baltimore County. Will the parties please come forward? Thank you. Before you start, I just want to say I asked this item to be put on non-routine because I had a few questions that I wanted to have clarity on. So, sir, please proceed.
Good morning, Mr. President, Mr. Mayor, Madam Comptroller, members of the Board of Estimates. My name is Matthew Garbark. I'm the Deputy Director of the Department of Finance. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have, Mr. President.
Public Works.
What did I say? What did I say?
Finance. Public Works.
I think,
This job.
Mr. Garbark, I think the director's saying you haven't started yet. So. Thank you, Mr. Garbark. At the City Council budget hearing for DPW on June the 5th, we learned that the county's rates are based on an agreement that the city and DPW has reached with the county in 1972, and then for 1974 for sewer rates. We asked questions around why this has not been renegotiated. That's quite a long time. I wasn't born in 1972. My dad was just graduating from high school around that time. And what I think the citizens want to hear about is why we're still negotiating on things that we know are severely outdated, especially with the county being such a large customer for us and being one of the largest customers. But also, we often hear from our citizenry how they feel there's a difference between what we charge the county and what our residents are getting. And we understand that we have a new mayor and a new county executive who are taking this issue head on and fighting and thinking about things regionally, and we appreciate all the things that they're doing. But we also just want to get more clarification about the difference between the rates. So with this 4% increase for them, explain to me how that would compare to Baltimore City, the average
Well,
bill.
before you answer, Mr. President, I want you to know that no other mayor has looked at this issue. First thing I did was call the county exec, got all his folk in a room to talk about looking at that agreement
Yep.
to see what needs to be adjusted, if it needs to be adjusted, or if nothing needs to be adjusted, then that's, what we'll do. But this has everything to do with Baltimore County and what they charge their citizens according to the agreement that was in 1972.
Yep,
And
Mr.
this
Mayor.
is something that,
So,
let me finish. This is
Mr. Mayor.
something that's dealing with their budget, and I don't think we, as the city, should question Baltimore County.
Well, that's not
and
what
how
we're
they're
doing here,
dealing
Mr. Mayor.
with their rates.
We're not,
That's what it seems like,
no,
Mr.
that's not what
Mr.
we're questioning.
President. You can finish the answer.
No,
Mr.
the
President.
question, Mr. Mayor, that was asked, and it'd be greatly appreciated if you allow him to answer it. The question that was asked is two things. One, we asked this question again at the budget hearing for an answer of why we're still negotiating. In addition, we asked that why the finance department isn't included in the negotiations. We didn't receive an answer, so this is why we're asking the question again.
I understand that, Mr. President.
If we had received the answer, we wouldn't be asking this question
I understand
today.
that, Mr. President, but
Secondly,
Director
Mr.
Chow
Mayor, you
tried
haven't
to
been
reach out to
recognized.
you.
You haven't been recognized, Mr. Mayor. Secondly, what we're asking today is, listen, we're not here to, I'm not here to talk about what the county charges their citizens. That's not my concern. We know, and as I said in my initial comments, we know that you and the county executive are handling this issue direct and head on. But what I want DPW to say to me today is, how does this compare with us? Does this rate that we're giving the county, is this going to make their average household water bill more or less than what we are charged in the city? That's it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. So you did ask that question in the budget hearing. We do have that tabulated and listed out on all the stuff we're getting back to you on. That does require that the billing system be back up and running, which is not up yet. We will do that analysis as soon as it's up. But bear in mind, the county is billed quarterly. We are billed monthly in the city. They are also only billed for the water that they use, whereas we also have the sewage, stormwater, and an infrastructure rate. So the 1972 agreement.
I'll stop you right there for a second. Add it all together. And this is not, we weren't always billed monthly. We were billed quarterly too.
Correct.
So add it all together. Let's just say I live in the 6500 block of Bel Air Road, and I own a house. And then I also have one in the 6900 block of Bel Air Road, and the bills are the same. You add in everything, sewer, water, everything. What is the difference? Which one is, what's the rate? What's the difference?
Obviously, the rate would depend on what you use and all, but.
It's same usage.
Right, okay. So the county puts their sewer and other fees in their property tax. So the water bill in the city is different than what is being seen in the county. At the end of the year, the county makes up whatever the difference is between what was paid to the city with the water bills and whatever else they owe for their portion of the water. So there is actually funding that is sent from the county to the city. We call that the end-of-year true-up. So they pay for what they use. That's the 1972 agreement. We pay for what we use. They build it into their property tax, whereas we only charge the actual cost for the water rates.
Ma'am.
Good morning, board members. Kim Morton, Chief of Staff of the Mayor. I've been in DPW and City Hall, so it's very complicated, but let me try to bring it down to at least where I understand it. We bill Baltimore County for water. The citizens in the county pay their water bills to the city. At the end of the year, according to the agreement, the county has to pay a certain percentage of the maintenance and utility and operating costs for the system. Where they get that money from, we don't know. So if this 4% is how they make up the difference between what we collect, because they get charged like we get charged. If we're between what we collect from the county residents and what they owe, that's how they get it. They've never told us what that formula is. I don't know if they've told anybody what the formula is. But that makes up the difference between what we collect from the county, from the residents, and what they owe us. We don't really care where they get it from, as long as they, pay up. Now, the sewer charges are there separate, and I think that's kind of where it gets, the whole thing is confusing, but that gets really confusing when you try to tie in with ours and their bills generally. It's very hard because they're not apples to apples. We can't give you a true answer without knowing how they I don't know how they came up with 4%. None of us do. And they're not inclined to tell us. As the mayor has spoken, we met 3 weeks ago to start looking at all of these agreements, the 72, the 74, everything, because nobody has looked at it, and it needs to be done. But what I think I understand the spirit of what you're asking for. I just don't know that we can give you an answer that will really satisfy you, because there are pieces of it that we're just not going to get, that we don't have access to. I can't say they won't give it to us, but I know we don't have it now.
Thank you, and thank you,
Sorry.
Madam Chief. I think that what you guys, again, like I said, is doing is something that should have been done a long time ago, and I appreciate them. I expect that a lot of those answers will come out then. So thank you. Thank you very much. I will entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I move approval of the item on the non-routine agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The motion carries. As there is no more business before the board, we will recess until bid opening at 12 noon.
Good afternoon. The board is now in session for the opening and receiving of bids. We have 2 addenda for today, and they are as follows. B50005774, corporate purchasing card. Please change the bid due date from June the 19th to July 10th, 2019. The second one is TR15307, Bel Air Road streetscape from Cook Avenue to LaSalle Avenue. Please change the bid due date from June 19th to June 26, 2019. Those are the addenda for today.
All of them are noted for the record,
Thank you.
or both of them, rather.
We don't need it. They will, they can come back and do it, they know, because it's keeping them. Yeah, we'll record it, I can record it, and then we'll. Okay. B50005781, tractor with front loader. A bid security is not required. Finch Services, Inc., with a check, $174,678.68.
This will be referred to the Bureau of Procurement for review.
Take it out of my
You can leave it in. You can use this one. Oh, yeah, use that one. I'm sorry. That's right. I don't think it'll fit me, I don't think. And here's the other bids.
What do you want to do with the check? Does it put it in?
Okay.
Okay, okay.
All right. Okay. The
Does it go with the packet?
okay.
Okay.
The second bid is B50005742, automotive radiators and heaters. No bids were received.
Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry, Don.
B5000 5731, recycling milled asphalt. A bid security is not required. M. Louis Products, LLC. $3,875. P. Flanagan and Sons Incorporated, $37,500.
Both will be referred to the Bureau of Procurement for review.
Sorry. There being no further business, we are adjourned.